This is Michael, the host of the WDYM podcast. You ever hear an episode and want to give your 2 cents? Now you have that option with the text and talk. In each episode description up at the top, you see the option for text and talk. Hit that link, start texting, and I'll start talking. Be a part of the WDYM podcast and start text and talking with me.
You're listening to the WDYM, the What Do You Mean podcast, Hamilton's #1 podcast. Now sit back and relax. Here's Hamilton's own Michael Gillespie.
And welcome to the WDYM podcast. I'm your host, Michael Gillespie. As Kobe said, how's everybody doing? Hope everybody's doing great. Ohio, we're doing real good. We are doing great. You know why? Because let me emphasize that, the Ohio State University has just come off a national championship in football. How wonderful is that? That is a great thing when Ohio State, in my opinion, when Ohio State wins a football championship. Now, this is the second championship in the Big Ten back-to-back because Michigan won last year and now Ohio State got it this year. But Ohio State's journey to the championship was a little tricky because of the loss to Michigan. So this episode is dedicated to that playoff run, but at the same time, Buckeye fans, we gotta chill because
I'm sick of it.
I'm sick of y'all. I'm sick of some of y'all when it comes to being Buckeye fans, because we are so quick to forget our history, our past, and everything. So this journey, this episode, this podcast starts with the Michigan game. The Michigan game that was set in Columbus with a 6-5 Michigan team coming up to Columbus, or coming down to Columbus to play the Buckeyes. This game should have been a blowout. It should have been a blowout. Unfortunately, things didn't go Ohio State's way, where they lost 13-10. Ohio State team that's been putting up crazy numbers all season long lost 13-10 to Michigan in Ohio. Now, before we go into that game, we had games of 52-6, 56-0, 49-14. I might as well go over the whole schedule. 38-7 against Michigan State. 35-7 against Iowa. The loss to Oregon earlier that year, 32-31. Nebraska, 21-17. Penn State, 20-13. Purdue, 45-0. Northwestern, 31-7. Indiana, 38-15. And then the actual loss to Michigan, 13-10. And when this happened, Buckeye fans altogether lost their shit. Yes, it's going to be edited out because this is a PG show. But they lost their stuff because Ryan Day lost. I think this will be his 4th time in a row, 4 out of 5. He lost to Michigan. Let's take a couple takes on Ryan Day after the Michigan game.
I want to say this short and sweet here. Ryan Day should be fired as head coach of the Ohio State Buckeyes. Please fire Ryan Day, Ohio State.
Okay, that's an opinion of one person. How about another quote-unquote fan?
Ohio State fired their coach, Ryan Day. Let's talk about it. Ryan Day just lost to Ohio State's #1 rival, Michigan, for the 3rd year in a row. And I feel like that is enough. That right there is enough to do it. Because if you can't beat Michigan at Ohio State, it's not going to work out. Now, Ryan Day all-time is 56-7, which is a phenomenal record. You come to Ohio State, you have to beat Michigan. I do think that they should move on from Ryan Day. And I feel like he's going to end up at Texas A&M. They're going to give him a call. They're going to give him a fat paycheck. He's going to be on his way. Now for Ohio State, hit Vrabel's line and bring him in.
So while Mike Vrabel would have been a good, heritage pick. 56-7, people. And we talking about firing them for a loss to Michigan. Again, yes, the loss to Michigan does sting. But at the end of the day, does he have a chance for a national championship? Yes, he does. And this is what I say to Buckeye fans. Slow your roll and look back, okay? But Ohio State versus Michigan did not start when Jim Tressel was here as the head football coach. Again, this has been a up and down, Michigan wins a couple, Ohio State wins a couple, and that's the way it's always been. We had a football coach named John Cooper. Before Jim Tressel was the head coach, we had a head coach named John Cooper. John Cooper was great against everybody except the bowl games and except Michigan. John Cooper was 2-10-1. Let's think about that for a second. He had 13 tries against Michigan and lost 10 of them, and was the coach for 13 times he played Michigan, and that's what happened. And they kept him. And we're tripping when Coach Day loses 4 out of 5. It's not a pretty thing. And again, the assignment is to beat Michigan. But the grand scheme of things is to be the king of kings, right? To be the national champion. So that's what I need Buckeye fans to remember. It's always up and down with Michigan. Let that be clear. It's always, hey, we'll win a couple, we'll lose a couple. We'll win a couple, lose a couple. If you are a Buckeye fan like me, like from the 90s, and I don't mean to try to throw my age, but way back in my day, I understand that these are facts, right? I've been a Buckeye fan for as long as I can remember. I remember all these times where Michigan would come up and whoop us, and it wouldn't be fair. It'd be like, wait, we got Eddie George. How are we losing to this? We got David Boston. How are we losing? Like, we had some good athletes that have lost to Michigan. So that's what I need Buckeye fans to do. Chill out. It's not that. I mean, yes. Is it a fireable offense? No. But does it raise the eyebrow? Absolutely. We cannot lose to Michigan. Let me tell you about the all-time record right now is 61, 52, and 6. That's the all-time record for Ohio State and Michigan, with Michigan winning 61 of those games. If they haven't won those 4, it'll be 57 to 56, right? And that's one of my bucket list things. Before I die, I want Ohio State to be on top of that all-time rivalry. I need that in my life before I die. That and an Everton Premier League championship. That's the 2 things I would love to have before I go. If that happens, I can say, all right, Jesus, take the wheel. I'm ready to go. But that happened, and Ohio State was still in the playoffs, right? So why, my question to Buckeye fans is, why were we tripping? People were saying, fire Ryan Day. The only thing I said is the play calling. The play calling was super sus. And I understand why, kinda. As the pressure builds for a Michigan-Ohio State game, first quarter, second quarter, third quarter, that fourth quarter, you run out of options. You run out of options, and you're nervous. That's what happens when you are a Michigan fan or you're an Ohio State fan. When this game comes on, you better slap some extra deodorant on, because you're going to sweat it all off. That's what happens. That's what happens every time I watch this game. Like, I wear 2 shirts because the first shirt is soaked. I know it's TMI. I know it's too much information. But that's what the game does to me. And being a Buckeye fan that has gone through the 2-10-1 of John Cooper, and then coming up for a Jim Tressel who went 9-1 against Michigan, and then Urban Meyer who went 7-0 against Michigan, I could take 4 losses. Buckeye fans, we could take 4 losses. But you guys were tripping, calling for him to be fired. I even put on my Facebook, say, look, y'all, this is your chance to publicly apologize to Ryan Day because, A, we're still in the playoffs. We still have a chance to win. And let's not forget, this Buckeye team's loaded. Yes, we stumbled and we lost to Michigan. But what's our odds? Our odds are good. We're going into this new playoff, I think the 7th seed, and we have to play the elite of college football. But you cannot tell me, other than Oregon, like we're not one of the best teams in the land. Now watching Ohio State, it's just we're loaded. We're so loaded. It's ridiculous. We shouldn't have lost to Michigan, but that happens. But we're moving onward because we got Tennessee, and they're the SEC. Now, the SEC has always owned the Big Ten. But, again, as a lifelong fan, the idea is we go down south, play a bowl game, which is in their backyard. It's their home field. They get the most seats, right? So, this time, guess what? The SEC has to come up north. They got to come up to Ohio State in December. Okay, come on. This is one of the things I've always loved about the FCS level of college football. Teams have to travel. Appalachian State got to go to Montana to play the Grizzlies in the snow in Montana. What happened? Montana won. That's what football is. That's what football is. You can't go to no bowl game in the South, in the Dome, and expect to play. So Tennessee had to come up north to Ohio, play us in Columbus. What do you think happened? Huh? What do you think happened when these Southern boys came up north? I'm going to tell you what happened. They weren't ready. They weren't ready for December football. And the thing that when I watched the game and watched the clips, Tennessee fans went on some kind of website and renamed Ohio Stadium Nolan North Stadium. They think that's funny. You think they said they gonna have the stadium orange. Okay. I see you. Don't do that. Listen, we don't have like a rivalry with Tennessee other than SEC versus Big Ten. That might be it, but they tripping. They named us Nolan North. I guess that's what their stadium's called. And they said they're gonna have the stadium orange. I said, okay. So what happened? What happened when they finally came up north? Let me play one clip of the game.
Play caller loves to feature the two backs as receivers, and now a downfield shot on first down for the end zone. Touchdown, Ohio State strikes first. The freshman, Jeremiah Smith.
Once Ohio State came out with all that red on, all that scarlet on, it was over. It was over. The Tennessee didn't have a prayer.
Attack these corners one-on-one. Does he hold on, finish the catch? Comes down, he gets the left arm underneath to be able to prevent the ball from coming loose. Really good job. Look at that right arm grabbing on. Does he finish? He does. That's a touchdown for Ohio State, and what a way to start for the Buckeyes.
So Tennessee comes in and gets smacked. We send them back to Knoxville with an L and a knock on the head, 42-17. And this is the equalizer when it comes to college football. Now these SEC teams have to travel up north in November, December timeframe. You want to go up to Ohio State in December? Come on. Come get your whooping. You want to go up north and play Michigan? Come on and get your whooping. It's revenge time for all us northern teams when it comes to y'all traveling. We always have to go to the Cotton Bowl and the Peach Bowl and all the stupid bowls in the South. Citrus Bowl, not anymore. Now you got to come up north. What happens? You ain't ready for that cold. You wasn't ready. 42-17 Ohio State. So Ohio State wins, and in this format, they get a home game, and then they go into the bowl games, right? So we get to play Oregon, who beat Ohio State earlier at the Rose Bowl. And again, that game was a tight one in Eugene, Oregon, and Oregon won that game 32-31, as mentioned before. So what happens when it's, when we now on a roll? We understand like how to play this game. It's like, oh, these are the rules that we got to play? No problem. What happened in the Rose Bowl?
See if they take a shot here. Howard looking to launch right down the middle. Smith is wide open. Too easy.
One play off.
I'm going to tell y'all a secret. I shouldn't tell y'all the secret. The secret is that fight song. Once you hear that, it's over for you.
A Ducks defense that was pretty elite this season. And number 4 making
That's the secret power of Ohio right there.
Pregame.
If you hear that fight song, it's probably over, or it's going to be close to be over, or you don't realize it's over, and we already went home because it's over. Once you hear the fight song, that's our secret power. You hear that, it just energizes everybody in Ohio, including the players, including the band. That's why it's called the best damn band in all the land. The Ohio State. You can't play with us. So we got our revenge against Oregon in the Rose Bowl. Dominated them. Final score 41-21. And it's on to the Cotton Bowl to play the Texas Longhorns. Now this one, to me, this was the national championship. Texas scared the bejesus out of me. Plus, it's in their backyard. It's in their backyard in Dallas-Fort Worth, Texas. Yep, I'm sure my boy Sean had to be excited. I bet he was thrilled. And the thing I love about Sean, he's a big Longhorn fan. He talks like he's from Texas. He's like, well, Texas plays Ohio State, Michael. How's that gonna be? We're gonna whoop them. We're gonna whoop them, maybe. Because if whoever win was gonna win the national championship, because ain't no way. I think Notre Dame already played. Ain't no way Notre Dame's gonna beat Texas, let alone beat Ohio State. The game with Texas was relatively close. That was, again, in my opinion, that was the national championship. And it went back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Until one play on the goal line where Texas got as far as they could, 1 yard, 2 yards, and they started making bad play call decisions instead of dry. Look, when you're on, listen, this is football 101 for me. When you're on the 1, 2, 3 yard line, you run it through the middle. Don't run side to side. Because that's just not. That doesn't work anymore. Run straight through the middle. That's what you do. That's what you do. And it came down to a third quarter play where Captain Jack. What am I talking?
It's not do or die, but it's close for Ewers. Pressure comes. Sawyer knocked it out and picks it up. Jack Sawyer headed down the sidelines. Ohio State scoop and score. And dagger.
Here comes the fight song.
82 yards.
It's over. Listen, I don't lie. I'm telling you guys the truth. You hear that fight song, it's over.
Roommates. When Ewers was at Ohio State, he spoils his dream with that strip sack and touchdown.
And how fitting for what this team's been through this entire year. This is a veteran defense, and nobody embodies that more than Jack Sawyer, the senior at 6'5", 260, who grew up in Columbus, Ohio, lifelong Buckeye fan. With the game on the line, he makes the play that could send Ohio State to the national championship.
So with Texas now behind us, the national championship is just all but ours. It is all but ours. I'm just saying. I'm just being honest with you. Listen. Notre Dame to me is like the head cheerleader of a cheerleading squad. They get all the notoriety. They get all the press. They get all the, we love Notre Dame. Everybody and their mama loves Notre Dame. I cannot stand Notre Dame. You know why I can't stand Notre Dame? Because they think they special. And they're not. Hear me out. They get their own channel, NBC. They get their own games on NBC. the rivalry game with Michigan. The one time I root for Michigan is when they play Notre Dame, because I can't stand Notre Dame. Their coach, Lou Holtz, can't stand him. It seems like every time they get special treatment because they want to be independent. They don't want to join a conference. They should have joined the Big Ten years ago. Imagine the Big Ten with Penn State, Notre Dame, Michigan, and Ohio State. Boom. That would have been a mega conference. Those games would have been crazy. But no, we get Nebraska instead. Why is Nebraska in the Big Ten anyway? I would never understand that. So, the one time I get to root for Michigan, they cancel that. And now it's Ohio State's turn to put the smack on Notre Dame. And I can't... I know in my heart of hearts that Ohio State's going to win. I can't fathom the idea that Notre Dame has even a remote chance against Ohio State. And look at the record. The all-time record for Ohio State and Notre Dame is 5-2. We've only played 7 times, and Ohio State has won 5 of those, not counting what happened this year. 5-2. Kind of reminds me of Hamilton versus Baton, with the religious aspect of it and everything. And Notre Dame hasn't beat Ohio State since 1936 with the score of 7-2. So what happened? What happened with that game? Same thing happened. Notre Dame started out great first, going for it twice in the opening drive on 4th down. That is a recipe for disaster. In your first series, you're going for it on 4th down twice already, huh? Really? That's the best you got? You got quarterback sneak in? Really? And they put up, first drive, they put a touchdown up. So, this might be something. But all in all, Ohio State jumps on them after they score first, 31-7. And Notre Dame makes a little comeback, everything, this, that, and the other. Make it entertaining for a while. But at the end of the day.
Moving. Here they come.
Heavy pressure. Howard delivers downfield. And Smith, he's got it! Jeremiah Smith hadn't had a touch in the second half.
Cue the fight song.
Potential game clincher.
Went 0, meaning they blitzed 7. They left everybody on an island, and Ohio State thinks that's a mismatch with Jeremiah Smith against anybody.
Whoa.
So that's it. Ohio State wins the championship. Wins the 2024-2025 college football championship. Has the greatest run, one of the greatest runs in college football history as of right now, because next year one team's going to have to do the same thing again. They beat the likes of Tennessee, Oregon, which was the number 1 team at the time, Texas, and then finished it off with Notre Dame. Again, not a Notre Dame fan. So, Buckeye fans, where does this season rank for you? Because at the end of the day, we did there's a national championship in the halls of Columbus. But we didn't beat Michigan. My opinion, it doesn't matter. Nobody cares we didn't beat Michigan. It happens. Again, this rivalry will have its up and downs. Remember, John Cooper went 2-10-1. Had 13 opportunities to beat Michigan and lost 10 of them. And we're tripping over Ryan Day because he lost 4. Oh, but he brought a national championship to Ohio State? We got spoiled. Ladies and gentlemen, we got spoiled with that Jim Tressel, Urban Meyer, who combined to be 16-1 against Michigan and brought the overall series close. We're close, ladies and gentlemen. We have an opportunity to catch them. Imagine we did not win 16 of those games. Where would we be? So, Buckeye fans, we need to chill a little bit and admire this championship run that Ryan Day had. And lastly, let's not forget our past when we struggled against Michigan. for the longest time. Imagine the frustration when we had more talent and we couldn't win. So, Buckeye fans, let it be known.
I'm sick of it.
I'm sick of it. But we got a national championship out of it. And I'll take the national championship over beating Michigan. I said it. But I'll take it. Who wouldn't take a championship? You are the king of kings. But we need to chill. We got a championship out of it. Take that, man. Take that, college football. Everybody else who's not Ohio State, screw you. That was such a good game. And Jeremiah Smith, freshman. Dude. And then the portal stuff, we could be back here next year talking about back-to-back championships. But I digress. Slow down. Enjoy this championship. Enjoy this episode. This is Mike Gillespie of the WDYM. Hope you guys had a good day. Have a good night. And I'll talk to you guys later. Peace out, Buckeye fans. I'm out.